Karmelo Anthony, a 17-year-old black teen in Frisco, Texas, I believe it is, has now been arrested and released on bond. The bond was initially set at $1 million, and I think it got lowered to $250. And as a result, he has bonded out, and now he is currently facing a charge of murder. Here, as you can see, here's the arrest report from the Frisco Police Department. This is down in Frisco, Texas. Young black male, age 17. As you can see right here, he is charged with first-degree murder. Now let me just say something here, right? As this article is being reported by capital B, that this track star, it was, I think we all have heard the facts about this so far. You know, basically, Karmelo Anthony was a track runner, is at a track meet at a school event, and he was sitting in a under a tent that didn't belong to his school, and so the actual victim, Austin Metcalf, who was I guess attending the school of which the tent was sitting under. The facts have been sketchy ever since that. You've heard multiple things being reported, but according to this article right here, it says that basically Austin Metcalf, who was the actual victim in this case, told Anthony to leave, and basically Karmelo Anthony said, no, you know, I'm not going to leave, and then things got escalated to where Austin Metcalf, you know, told him, hey, you got to leave again. And then Karmelo Anthony allegedly, this is all allegedly because the facts are still kind of scant, that he told him that, hey, if you touch me again, see what happens. Then allegedly, Austin Metcalf actually physically grabbed Anthony. And then, as we all have heard, that Karmelo Anthony then pulled out a knife and stabbed Metcalf. This is according to the reports. Now, we've heard all kind of things. You won't actually know the actual facts until the actual trial hits, because people are reporting this and witnesses have said this and that. So wait till the actual trial comes and you can see what actually comes out. But you know, I just want to say that a couple of things. Number one, these two athletes, one is no longer with us, and the other one is now facing this charge, as you see as the police report. Just understand that number one, 17 years old. They're going to try him as an adult in Texas. Texas, I think, has an actual legal age of 17. And so it looks like he's been charged with first-degree murder. And let me just pull up the code really, really quickly. Texas Penal Code 19.2 states that murder, you have to intentionally cause somebody to die, or the death of an individual, or intend to cause serious bodily injury or commit an act that clearly is dangerous to human life. Or you kill someone during the commission of a felony, which is called felony murder in most jurisdictions. That's what he's being charged with. So, you know, you can either argue that, hey, you know, he intentionally tried to kill him, or he at least intentionally tried to kill Austin Metcalf. Not kill, but cause serious bodily injury by stabbing him with a knife. So that's going to be pretty clear. That's what the prosecution is going to be alleging. The defense, however, is alleging Texas Penal Code 931, self-defense. And it says that basically you are allowed in Texas to use force against someone else to the degree that the actor reasonably believes that the force is immediately and necessary to protect the actor against the other's attempted use of force or use of force, unlawful force. And the force that you can use can be deadly. That's what they're gonna, the defense is posturing at this point. You know, I tell you, this is one of those things to where, you know, as I told you in previous videos, the questions of law is answered by the judge. I've already stated the law. So the questions of law, this is what the law, the judge is going to point out to the jury. The question of fact is, was the appropriate amount of force used? And if the appropriate amount of force is used, then the self-defense will be viable. You cannot be the aggressor in law and also have a self-defense defense. Here is alleging that he was not the aggressor. It's being alleged that Austin Metcalf was the aggressor by telling him and approaching him, hey, get up out of our tent, and then grabbing him. And so he said, hey, you know, Karmelo Anthony, his posture is that, hey, I'm just protecting myself. That's going to be a question of fact. If indeed Austin did physically grab and threaten him, as well as tell him get out of our tent, and it escalated, was the appropriate amount of force used? Self-defense is a complete defense. That's a legal argument. That's a complete defense. It means you face no time, you did the right thing. However, if you did not use the right amount of force, which is going to be a question of fact for the jury after hearing all the evidence and all the witnesses, did you use the right amount of force? If someone is grabbing you, do you have to use a knife to neutralize said force? That's going to be a question of fact. That's going to be for the jury, and that's what the prosecutor and defense attorneys are going to put on this case. This will be very interesting. I don't need to go into all of the facts and all of the things. I mean, you've heard about all the death threats and all that stuff, but in terms of the actual case, this is what's happening. Now, what's interesting is that this article is reporting that the Collin District Attorney, this is Collin County District Attorney, is trying to present this evidence to a grand jury, which at this time has not formally indicted Karmelo Anthony as of yet. And so they're going to wait and see what the grand jury's decision is. And it's also important to note that when you're under the age of 18, the 8th Amendment does not allow for the death penalty, nor does it allow life without the possibility of parole. So those two punishments, if he is convicted, are off the table because he's not 18 yet. And that's under the U.S. Constitution of the 8th Amendment. So it's going to be interesting to see that these two high school athletes got into this situation. I am so sorry to hear about this because this is definitely tragic, but we'll follow and keep a close eye on it and see. But this case is going to be riddled and is getting a lot of attention. So we'll follow and stay tuned. It's your brother, Attorney Jeff. Like, comment, subscribe. You tell me, was the appropriate amount of force used in this case from what you hear about it, or was too much force used? Does he have a viable self-defense or does it not? Is it an imperfect self-defense or is it actual self-defense? You tell me. I would love to hear your comments below.